Wow, you really like 1-Up soda. That's some good stuff and a lot of beer. You are an interesting person. Thank you for coming to my store. Appreciate you. Bought $53 worth of Nuff beer and 1-Up soda. Welcome back to King of Retail 2. Seems like you guys wanted to see a little bit more of this game, so I figured we might as well play just a little bit more and see what we can come up with here. I'm actually not on the next day. I've let it play a couple of days now, and apparently it's winter, right? It is Q1, and you can see the weather up here, so it's going to become sunny soon, second half of the day or so. And let's go ahead and check some people out. Now, I've made some modifications to the store. Product offerings, not as much. I did add a couple of soda offerings, but the biggest things I've changed right now, anyway, is just the schedule. We are now open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Instead of opening at 10 and closing at, I think it was 6 before. 1800, right? At 6 p.m. So now we're open later, is what I'm saying. We're open earlier and open later. And we can go into the analytics as to why I made that decision. But I mean, it seems pretty clear. It's probably pretty obvious to people that the longer you're open, the more opportunity you have to sell things. Take a look at our store reputations here. Segment reputation is, pretty average across the board. But this one here, I think, is kind of how these different demographics are starting to know us. I think that's what this is saying right here. And so my average is... It's pretty low right now, but it's moving up. And then you can see I have just a little bit of growth and some from various different things. Not so much with the administrators. So we have to look at how to get reputation built up. And you can see with packaged goods, we just a little bit of reputation with packaged goods because I happen to have quite a bit of it. So we're going to be expanding our product offerings today, but I also want to do things just a little bit smarter today as well. We're going to start getting a little bit more automation going, a little bit more on the back end and, macro management instead of having to order things individually all the time. So you can see I've got a couple of things on my shelves here that are not in stock. Let's just really quick touch base with that. And we're going to have to also check in on how many things I actually have in stock. I've added these two right here, these two beverage options. And I think I actually had a third. I did, yes. So that third one's going to go right in there in the center. And then we've got that right there. We'll just go ahead and fill in the shelves like that. There we go. And then the Nuff beer, if I have yellow, do I have... That's the one up. That's the yellow one. Do I have yellow? I do have yellow. I guess we can probably put some more in here, but I kind of wanted to add some different beer in here as well. In fact, I think I was going to take this away. Yeah, and we'll go ahead and clear that. Yeah, and then restock, and that way it'll fill in the other steps, the other parts as well. Hello, ma'am. Can I help you? Is there anything I can do to make your decision easier? Yes, we do have that kind of tea. It's right there in front of you. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's difficult to read, but good thing my young eyes are here to help you. All right, so we're going to let this go a little bit longer. I'm going to end the day, and then I want to take a look at adding some shelves here and here, just to get some additional snack foods and additional types of offerings that, these demographics really like. I also think it's probably a good idea to maybe not have 3 of the same product. Like, we have a lot of different product right there, or different space here, all occupied by the same product. So I'm going to look to start getting more diversity on the shelves in the same space if it's needed, right? And the only way to know if it's needed is to take a look at the numbers. And that's why I wanted to let it run a couple of days before we kind of jump back in for episode 2, is I wanted to have enough history in the store at least to kind of start seeing trends and kind of start seeing patterns. You can't really do that from 2 days, but I can do that from 4 days. This is the 3rd day. So this is Thursday, day 4. And we started on day 1 when we set everything up. So this is the 3rd day of business. And yeah, there we go. So we have that. So I want to get some additional beer there, probably all the Nuff offerings, I suppose. Probably want to condense this. So this is the Blue Fizz too. Yeah. So I think we can probably take Blue Fizz away from that spot and we just refresh that. And then I can, again, get some different ones here to kind of go in those spaces. Well, these guys are both thinking about it. Well, this one's more my target, so I'm going to start with him. And if she's still there when I'm done convincing him, then we'll talk to her too. Yeah, she's gonna walk away. I find that most people who are thinking about entering, they don't unless you talk to them. I don't know if there's a chance for them to come in anyway, but I haven't noticed anyone yet who has been on the fence and decided to fall on my side of the fence, if that makes sense. They kind of need pushed or pulled, I suppose. They need pulled to my side of the fence. This guy came in after I convinced him, but then just didn't buy anything. So that happens sometimes too. Store's balance is $2,328. So we are pretty profitable here. I've done nothing with pricing as well. So if I take a look at my details of different products here, I haven't done anything with pricing. So I probably could punch this one up to like, you know, 480. You know, I could push this one up to maybe 350, 360. I don't know how the game reacts to having prices raised. Some games are, well, there's just variable elasticity to how games handle things like that, right? And or how they handle elasticity of demand. So I want to kind of take a look at that as well, and maybe by altering some of the prices on specific goods to see how that affects their, you know, their prices. So specifically things that sell a lot. So things that are we're pushing through a lot of pretty regularly, which again, I don't have a whole lot of experience yet to know what regular is. It's only been a few days, but as we determine what products sell the best, we can start like inching their prices up just a little bit higher to help offset that demand just a little bit and see if we can't get, you know, an extra 20, 30 cents per product would be kind of cool, depending on what it is. If it's like a pot or something, maybe an extra $1. My stockroom is very full, and getting deliveries, I feel like I'd want it doesn't look as good, I admit, but getting more space for deliveries I think is probably a pretty good deal. So I'm going to start moving the pallets out here so I can have more shelves in the stockroom. Go ahead and check her out here. There we go. Have a nice day. $85. Wow, you spent a lot. Thanks. Appreciate that. B Whitehead, can I see your customer details? I don't have hardly any reputation right now with the red people, right? Administrators. I don't have a whole lot of reputation with them yet. I'd like to build that up because that's part of what I was targeting, right? Actually, I think this shelf is fine the where it is, because this one here is not in the way of a shelf, but I wanted to get another shelf in here. So I wanted to go like this. If I can get my head out of the way. Yeah, I wanted to buy another shelf right there. Put it right there is probably fine. And that just gives me more space in my stockroom, right? It just gives me, you know, more capacity to store things. I can have more product diversity. We're going to have more stuff in stock if I want to have less deliveries. Now, maybe it's not a big deal to have, you know, like more deliveries, more frequent deliveries, but I want to set up regular deliveries. And what I mean by that is I want to end up, hang on, let me just tell this guy to buy something. Yeah, buy that one right there. I want to set up min-maxing. And not the kind of min-maxing that, you know, to where you try to optimize every single bit of space and stuff in a video game. That's not the kind of min-maxing I'm referring to. I'm referring to setting up minimums and maximums for product orders so that we can kind of see things at a glance and know, you know, what we need, and have the order just fill exactly what we want every time, right? So smarter last minute product management, if you will, inventory management, right? So we're going to look at that in the HQ at the end of the business day today and see if we can't come up with a strategy that keeps us all in stock while not, you know, super filling the stockroom every single time, and, you know, giving us a little bit of flexibility there to order on the fly if we want to get something different. Holy cow, you bought a lot of stuff. Thank you for the $117. That's really nice. You know, we could probably transfer a little bit to corporate. We don't need a lot. Well, okay, I'm still going to buy those shelves though. So yeah, maybe I do. In fact, if I do this, let's go to where the shelves are here. Do I want this to be, I want these narrower ones here is what I was looking at before. But it looks like they're only available in this sort of wood tone. Ooh, you know, I don't know about that, man. Nah, I don't know if I like that one or not. Maybe that would work okay for. Is that customer still standing? Yeah, see, they're thinking about it and then they walk away, right? If they're on the fence, they tend to just walk away. I don't know how long they're willing to wait in line, so I could probably prioritize trying to bring them in, but half the time I bring them in, they don't necessarily buy anything either. So some customers are just not as good as others, I guess is what we're saying. Like, you know, your store is catered toward a specific type of individual or a particular taste. And so, like, spending some time trying to bring people of other tastes in, it can work. You know, they could buy something, but it may not be worth making a good customer who's going to spend $117 on stuff, making them wait longer. It's probably not a good idea. Let's see if I can't get this guy to... My goodness, dude. That is a wicked look you got going on there. Look at that lion's mane. My God, what is your name? Mufasa? Ali Wu. Yeah, okay, I can get behind that name too. Awesome. Mr. Wu, buy some more stuff, please. Be happy. Hair care products are on your right. I don't have any beard oils, but I probably should stock some if you're coming back. My goodness, that look. Got somebody on the fence out here. Let's just take a look and, well, I didn't get to him in time. Well, that happens. We'll get this person to come on in instead. You're dressed the same as this majestic fellow behind me, so maybe you'll buy a whole lot of stuff too, because he seems to be still shopping, still ordering things, or at least still adding things to his cart. So that's real neat. He might be buying a lot of stuff. Can I convince you to buy some delicious cornflakes? Granola? I don't know, man. I feel like it's too easy to convince them to just randomly buy things if they're on the fence. They got their hand to their chin like that. It means that they're thinking. What? You're kidding me, sir. Surely you jest. You're just walking outside to look at that. Okay, you walked outside to look at that shelf. Yeah, okay. Well, that's a little weird too, but it's fine. It's fine. Maybe I'm not supposed to put shelves that close to the window, but I was like, sir, you spent so much time in here. Surely you're going to be a customer. Surely you won't leave me hanging. Come on, Mufasa, get over here. Let me get you checked out before it's too late. He is spending a considerable amount of time in this store. Here we go. Okay, lots of squirrel butter. A bucket, some coffee, another bucket, some teas. You got some ketchup. You got some crackers, different snacks, a whole lot of pink soda, some hand soap. I forget what that stuff is. I think that's jam. Yeah, so you got a bunch of stuff there, man. Thank you. $172. Come back soon. I'll have some beard oil for you. That's crazy. It's such a good customer that guy was. And I don't think he was even part of our initial demographic target. Like, he's not a student or anything. So he just has a lot of stuff we just have a lot of stuff that he liked, which is kind of nice. All right. So before we would be closed already, right? 1800, we would have been closed already. But now we have a lot of people in the store still. We can sell more products. Now this would typically, see, he's standing outside, but I mean, he's the blue collar worker, the laborer, and I don't have a huge need to like make these people wait to go and target him. If it was somebody wearing green, I might. If it's somebody wearing red, I might. I am noticing that the ones in the business attire here, they don't necessarily, you know, they dress like they've got a little bit of extra money, but they don't necessarily buy more stuff than these guys who are dressed like this are pretty big spenders right now. Administrators, I guess, is who they are. Maybe. So I do tend to sell quite a bit of product to them. Here we go. Have a nice day. Okay, so it's purely experience based on one day, but I had a total of 2 customers come into the store between 8 and 9. So I think maybe closing at 8 might be a better fit here. We might just go like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We'll have to see how that rocks for me. Let's go ahead and do a really quick restock to see, and we're getting real danger low on that product. I want to do this whole MinMax thing, see how it works. I don't know how it works yet. but I'd like to do it while we still have things in stock because it's going to be a little easier to tell what products we're actually handling, I think, when we do that. So if I go, how do I go about doing that here? Is it not analytics, right? So statistics of your products, we could buy inventory. I think we can go to the buy inventory screen and we go to MinMax and it says article 0, price 0. I think maybe the MinMax stuff has to be set up from the HQ. You have sales. Here's the sales we have. So if I add to cart, here's everything that we sold, right? So if we're trying to just replace everything that we sold, this would be our order. And this would be a direct replacement of every product we sold today. I think that's how that works. It would cost us $613 to replace it all. But here's the thing we can do, right? I can take like this Harmony Jasmine right now. And I don't know how much we have in stock for individual things, but this one shelf is 12. So if I wanted, I could maybe set 4 as our min-max. I wouldn't want to do that. I would want to set a certain number as our min-max here, right? So let's say I want to order 24, and that's going to be our oh, maybe I have to hit enter here first and then do it. Yeah. So 24 to be the minimum we have. So like every day I want to make sure that we have at least that. That gives me the ability to have all 12 on the shelf and then replace all 12 of those with another 12. Right? Is kind of, and maybe the stock number counts as our stock room shelves, or does it count as what's on the shelves in the store as well? I don't know that. I'm going to assume that it's the latter, that it counts the whole store. So these here, it's in stacks 20. We can probably do the same thing here. We can say 40 and then set that as a min-max value. The tasty pear is 5 here. Maybe I want a little bit more than that. So, because we maybe sell a bit more. I think we only sold 5 today. So, but let's have 15 be our min-max value for that. So we're going to go down all my products today and just sort of add this as a min-max thing. And then I think what happens there is that I can then just kind of, maybe have to do it from the HQ. I don't know, but because this is all blind to me at this point. But I think what I have to do is there's a mechanism. There's got to be some mechanism that lets me go add everything I'm missing that's below min-max value and add it to cart. And then just have one delivery that brings everything back to that value. That would make sense to me if there was something that does that. So I'm going to analyze this a little bit here. There's a lot of stuff to do this to, and I don't want to have to take up the whole video time just me setting numbers. So let me kind of set this, and I'm going to analyze things through the HQ to try to understand it better, and I'll be right back with my best understanding. Okay, so I'm back at HQ, and I've set min-max values relative to what it, like their size on their carts, the size on their shelf, sorry. So like this one here, a single row on the shelf, it fits 20. So I've got the min-max value at 20 right here. But if I want to have a little bit over that, I can go over to 30 here and then just set it here like this. I do need to return this to 20 if I want to have this all be a single order. And so I'm going to kind of do this huge order that maxes out my delivery capacity and just kind of refills a lot of what was already ordered today. But I've got min-max value set. That's a little bit egregious here. Let's try this again. Let's go down to 30 on that one. And we're just going to kind of have that. And I'm hoping that there's enough storage space to take this. I'm actually going to bump a couple of these up that are really small. Now that I've got that one over there corrected, I can just kind of bump these up a little bit here to try to min-max what we have for the order, so I don't have a delivery fee for less than my capacity. And we'll go like that. Okay, so I'm going to place that order. Receive the ordered products tomorrow morning. I think that doesn't cost me a delivery fee. It just shows up because I've done it from HQ and I did it the day before. So it's like proper planning ends up getting me more money from it, right? Or I have lower costs from it. I like that. So we're currently open from 9 to 9. I'm going to change this to 9 to 8 because I didn't really have a whole lot of customers after 8. So we'll go ahead and do that. I might actually try 8 to 8. See how that goes. If I look at customer flow by the whole group. So this is a very similar graph than we were used to seeing in Big Ambitions, where it shows you how many customers you've had. My customers were up here and up. So this is I believe this is 9 o'clock, right? 9, and I have 0.28 customers per hour, I guess, or minute. I don't know how that number's working. 1.0. I'm not sure how that's working there. If I go to individuals, we can see. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know how to read these graphs. The numbers, the decimal points here, 0.28. It doesn't make sense to me. All I'm seeing is number higher than the other number at the moment. So 8 was very low. I know that 8 was very low. So we're not gonna, I think, bother with that. We're gonna close it at 20 because then this part here from 19 to 20 was quite high. So I think probably we're good to just stay open when we're gonna be open here. And this is our new day, 9 to 8. I think is pretty good. So that's our store schedule. Now I don't care so much about the scheduling here. I just care about operating hours. I will care more about scheduling when we get to employees, which I'm going to get to in this video. But I want one more day of just me so I can really fine tune the inventory system and understand how deliveries work and min-maxing works and everything. And I really want to kind of better understand my customer demographics and sort of like how much of each product we're going through. And I want to have boots on the ground, okay? Boots on the ground, okay, to like understand that. And then I'll get a cashier and I can focus more on maybe customer interaction, just suggesting, recommending sales, things like that, keeping other things going, and then potentially even starting a new business if I get enough money to do so, which, you know, this store has a pretty good amount of money. I would like to expand as well. I'd like to expand and get more product variety and get a few extra different things on shelves, get new shelves, right? Expand this. I don't want this to be just like a big open store with shelves along the walls. There's still going to be shelves right along this area here. Now, did the delivery come already? Or this is where the pallet is. I'm going to move this pallet. And I'm going to just kind of shift it over here for now. Let's just do it maybe like right here. Yeah, I want this to be, let's move this one too. Make this a little bit better. There we go. And then take this one and put it right over next to it. There. So our deliveries will hit here. Not the most attractive looking thing to have as a customer standing next to these pallets, but it's going to hopefully give me the space to make this happen. I'm really curious if I can get another shelf in here. I wish there was a first person mode so I could get my head out of the way. But if I move this unit and try to do it with my head out of the way. Yeah, so like right here. No, I got that pretty much as far over as I can go, don't I? I can't really go any further than what I've already done with that one. What about this one here? Maybe I can go a little further with this one. Can I get the... Oh, I can't get the overlay to pop up. Interesting. I can't pause time either. That's interesting. There it goes. And maybe if I leave the room and come back, all my windows are gone. My interaction windows are gone. See that? I can't seem to interact with anything. It's almost like I'm stuck in placement mode. Am I stuck in that? I think I am. Because none of my windows at the top work either. Not even my options menu. I can't. Oh, I have to hit escape. Really? I don't know why. Escape has brought them back though, so I guess we'll just do it. I might have been stuck in some kind of mode. Yeah, I really wish there was some kind of first-person placement or independent camera from the player when placing things. That'd be huge because like my big old fat head's in the way here and it's tight spaces. So I want this as close to that shelf as I can get. And what I was hoping I could get from that is one more shelf in here. Because it's so close. The dimensions of the room are just so close to supporting this. So if I was to put this right up against the back of the shelf, it's just not enough. This is where having a smaller grid would be huge. Because I could just take this wall and bring it. That little extra bit right there, I could bring this out. And then I have enough for this extra shelf, but I don't have enough for this extra shelf. It's just not enough. Okay, that's the way it goes. Also, did you notice this? I don't know if you noticed this, but they rendered out facial feature, like internal facial stuff. Like, look at this. If you go really close to the dude's face, watch his eyes and stuff. You ready? Like, he's got eyeballs. Like, full-on eyeballs and teeth. See the teeth? And there's like... I don't know. Like, there's a... If I can get closer to, like, the light, you could see even more. Like, there's the tongue and everything. So it gets pretty gnarly to look at this from up close. Like, look at that. I mean, I feel like he didn't have to do that. He didn't really have to do that, but he did. There's teeth in there. It's kind of wild. Anyway, just thought I'd recognize that because it's there. Okay, so palette is going to go in here. Man, I wish I could put these next to each other too, but I can't. It says your store is open for the day. Ah, there's my delivery guy. So he comes in when I open. That's less than ideal. I would have preferred you to come in before I open so I could unpack that stuff before the business day. Maybe deliveries are always at 9 a.m. and I'm just choosing to open at 9. It could be that. And in which case that's just the way it's going to be for me, you know. Okay, so now we have a whole bunch of stuff in stock. I obviously want to unpack this stuff, and I can watch the door while I do it because it's out here. So now at least I can unpack and watch the door, and I can always like cancel out of that. But what I'm most interested to see here is, do I fill my stock room before I can get everything on the shelves? Because I have those min-max minimums, right? And so and I want to see, how do I act on those? Is there a single button press that I can do to act on those minimums, you know? So I want to see how that goes too. We'll refill the shelves here, refill all of this stuff as it's designated, and okay, let's slow down time here and go like that too. So now there's more stuff in stock. Hey, would you like to buy something that I just put in stock? Yeah, those things on the left, those orange ones, they're a real treat. You should have one. They're also costing more now. Oh, actually, this is a problem as well. I need to open the queue. You know, there's a possibility that last person that came in, like the first person that came in the store and then they left without buying anything, it's possible that they didn't buy anything because I have, you know, no queue for them to wait in. I'm kind of warming up. I know it doesn't look as good, but I'm kind of warming up to the idea of having these pallets out here. It's, again, I know it doesn't look as good, but it's going to let me unpack things and still keep an eye on the store while I do it. And if we're going to have deliveries during store hours, I feel like I got to be able to do that. I got to be able to take a look at this counter and the people potentially outside. You see, look at that. So there's a whole bunch of people outside I want to talk to here. I do get some pretty decent sales from these guys, the office workers. I do have some products that kind of appeal to them, so I do tend to get some decent sales from them. So I'll bring him in. Not really can concern myself so much with like blue overalls and such, but and the ones wearing pink aren't really all that. They don't really buy a whole lot either. This is a pensioner. Definitely want to you know, appeal to them. We have a lot of products for them. I mean, they're on fixed incomes, and pensioners, they tend to gravitate towards really cheap stuff. So they're not necessarily going to buy a lot of higher margin stuff. But all of my prices are higher now, and I'm wondering if maybe that's turning people off, because I haven't really had to check anyone out yet. I've raised the prices on average about 30 cents per product. I didn't go extreme with it. About 10%, which is, I mean, not a small amount necessarily, but we'll see. This person's buying stuff, so that's not too bad. I just want to see like how many people end up leaving the store without paying anything, without buying anything. And if a significant portion do compared to yesterday, wow. You're not deterred by those prices at all. Nice. Anyway, if like a significant portion of people walk out without paying or walk out without buying anything compared to yesterday, then I think I'll probably see that it's you know, it's probably my prices at that point. You know, if it's, you know, an outlier, if it's not like within the norm, if you will. Okay, let's go ahead and restock all of these too. So looking pretty good so far. We have things in our stock room because of the boxes, right? So I want to see all these shelves being full all the time. Let's go ahead and unpack some more here. Is he waving at me? Hey, stop. What's up? Are you waving at me? Is that what you were doing? Like calling me over? I have never seen that before. But he wasn't looking at me. But he was kind of like asking for help. So I helped him. And now I shall help you if you desire my assistance. Erica Maddox. No? Kind of want to get... Yeah, let me look at this guy. So he currently has the Fruit Blend Kiwi and the Simple Coffee Classic in his basket. And he's looking at this. He's like wondering, should I buy that or not? And I would like to tell him to do it. He looks like he reached for it. And I saw one of them disappear just now, so I think he's going to grab that too. It's pretty nice. Go ahead and restock the shelves there while we're here. And then unpack. Keep an eye on the front of the store while we do. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and stop unpacking. And yeah, it doesn't look as good, but I'm starting to warm up to the idea of having these pallets like near the cash register, especially if these deliveries are going to come out, you know, at night like that. Maybe if I get a stock person, right? If I get like 2 employees and one's on the cash register, the other's like doing stock stuff, then at that point, it probably doesn't matter and I can put the pallet back, but let's just go ahead and help this guy. Right there like that. There we go. Before, this game had like a radial wheel. And that was kind of one of the things that sort of... I didn't really... I was like, you know, I'm not really ready for this game. Yeah, I feel like this game needs a little bit more time to cook. A little more time to get some player feedback and everything to maybe iron out some of the kinks that it had. There's a lot of stuff that was written on the Steam forums and things like that for, you know, people expressing like certain things could be improved when I initially looked at it. But by the time I was contacted for the last video, right? By the time that happened, I looked at it again at that point, and I was like, wait a minute, that wheel is gone. This whole radial wheel thing, like you were catering to a controller, that's gone. And it's been replaced by very conveniently placed menus at the top. Everything is very accessible. Pop-up windows like this is very accessible. You just approach the thing and say, what do you want to do? And that's, I think it's a significant improvement over the last UI. So, yeah. Okay, so I had no products to add over there. And not every shelf is full, right? So this is where I have to kind of tweak my minimums. How many do I sell every day? And how much do I need to make sure I have in stock to keep the shelves full? Then also, how many shelves do I have? Because stock room is pretty full right now. And it's possible that it's full of products that just we have too much of. Like I might have... I'm fairly confident I have like 30 of these buckets, and I don't need that many. You know, I can make do without that. We only sell maybe 5 or 6 a day, so there's no reason to have 30 in my stock room. You know, same thing with these buckets here. Like she just bought one, and like the toilet paper also, that needs to be restocked a lot because it's a single product on the shelf there in that spot, and so when somebody buys it, there's only 2 on the shelf. So when someone buys it, there's only 1 left, right? So I have to constantly kind of look at that. So I need to tweak this is what I'm saying. I need to have maybe less buckets and more of the paper towels and toilet papers and stuff. I need to put that stuff with a higher amount of space. I need to give it more shelf space so that I have it more, you know, more availability for people to grab it. And that's the kind of stuff that I'll be tweaking too, because once I get these other shelves in, I can move some of these products over to that shelf and these shelves instead. I'm going to try to kind of, and I know it probably doesn't matter. Like the game's probably not coded to care, but I'm going to kind of role play it a little bit. I mean, I have quite a bit of experience as God, I'm almost at the top of the hill now, aren't I? Ugh. As a nearly 38-year-old male, as a nearly 38-year-old citizen of the world, I got a fair bit of experience in grocery stores, okay? In a lot of different types of shops, and well, I think I can have a reasonable organization of where products are located in stores. right? And like stuff like this, these candies and stuff, we're gonna move this up. The toothbrushes are gonna move back and stay away anyway too. But you know, we're gonna have things organized in a somewhat sensible manner. Not that the game really cares. Like, I don't think customers are gonna be waiting in line and see candy bars and go, you know what? I haven't had one of these in a while. I'm gonna grab one. You know, there's a lot of that stuff going on in grocery stores. The way things are placed psychologically is to get you to grab as many things as possible, right? And a lot of these last minute impulse decisions, you know, candy, things like that, you know, we'll put that up near the cash register, even though it probably doesn't matter with how the game is coded, but we'll be doing it anyway, if that makes sense. All right, let's check this guy out here too. And I'm going to go through the rest of the day here and just play and serve customers, do the best I can here. It doesn't seem to me anyway, at least for now, it doesn't seem like my prices have deterred a whole lot of business. It's only an extra, you know, 10, 20, 30 cents sometimes. And, you know, higher value stuff that was already at like $7 is now $7.50. But I didn't raise them all that much. I'm going in small increments to kind of just test the waters on that to see how the game interprets how much impact the game has on that kind of stuff. I'm also going to move these shelves a little bit because I keep getting customers going outside to look at them. And it's very weird. So I need to shift these shelves over just a little bit, just so they don't go outside to grab things. I think that the side of the shelf is just into the wall. And for whatever reason, the customers are going outside of the store to look at it. So I'll be moving that too. When there's nobody here, I'll just shift it over a little bit.